I was smoking cannabis too much, more than I should have. And in 1 month, I lost $3.6 million, right? So I lost $3.6 million, and I've never shared this. And it wasn't because, I wasn't trading good. No, it's because I wasn't prioritizing and I wasn't doing the right things that I should have. Therefore, life smacked me in the mouth. Not the market, not I got scammed or I blamed other people. No, is I didn't have the self-regulation, right, to put away the things that I need to put away at the right time. And it cost me. And people don't realize that their habits have an impact on everything that they do.
Yeah.
Dude, if you were healthy, you had a good routine, you had a good habit, you had good friends, you had a good circle of influence, you'd be crushing crypto, NFTs, Web3 at a bigger level because you're being challenged 24/7. For example, we live together and stuff like that. And Nate's, as you know, super shredded.
Yeah.
Now we're all in the process of, that's our goal. Right? That is the standard. I'm the richest guy that's come out of my family since the last 100, 200 years. I'm challenging my family now. Money is actually important. Now we have our younger brother. He's like ultra into philosophy, reading, all these stuff. Now he manages that quadrant of mental development. So now he's like sending me all these videos and all this stuff and all this education and all these books because we're piecing each other together. Yeah. We just happen to be in a situation that's extremely nice, Mo, where you can trust your family, right? Yeah. And I know it's not common, but if you can't have that from the moment you're born, you have to go assemble that. Just like the fucking Peaky Blinders. Some of them were family, some of them were cousins, but then you got to band up your army. And if you want to bring top tier talent, top tier people in your circle, you have to become a top tier individual. If you can't attract high quality people, the problem ain't out there. The problem is you. You have to become a certain type of individual and you're going to attract the people that deserve to be attracted. How do I make money in 2023? Because it's a valid question. You know, you have a lot of young hustlers, kids in their 16s to 18s. They're still in high school, but they understand the online money game. They understand that there's some cash to be made, and they want to get in on the action. You know, so don't let anybody tell you because you're young that you can't be out here making money, that you can't be out here hustling. You know, I have students, kids that are 16 years old doing 20, 50K days. Like they're absolutely crushing. I have 19-year-olds that are doing 100K days. I have kids that are in their early 20s doing $300,000 days. Literally proven, tested, real e-commerce stores that are brands, right? These are real tangible things. Now, yeah, they may be anomalies, but why can't you be an anomaly, right? If somebody else can't do it, doesn't mean you can't do it. In the comments, you're gonna see so many people be like, oh yeah, well that's luck, or that's bullshit, or whatever. Yeah, there's so many excuses as to why you can't do something, right? But you only need one good reason as to why you need to do something, and you can be that difference. You can be that point of difference. And if you tell yourself enough times that it's possible, it can be possible. And I know it sounds crazy and I know it sounds motivational speaky, but imagine every single day, instead of saying, God, life is terrible, imagine your entire mindset was just like, it's possible to get to the next level. It's possible to be great. It's possible to make more money. It's possible to be more healthy. Even if you had to lie yourself into believing that, sometimes you have to create a delusion that is so far out there that people will think you're crazy.
Let's say you wanted to make money in 2022, you only have a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000. There's 3 avenues that you can make money, period. First is physical products, the second one is digital products, and the third one is services, right? So you have your physical products, that's gonna be Kenzo, right? His ability to fulfill massive demand to Amazon. You have Iman's agency, right? He's a service. You have your digital products, which could be people's courses in here, whoever has a course in here, I don't know, or an NFT could be considered a digital product as well. I would say the lowest risk, highest return one would be services, right? Your ability to provide a service at a low cost, because what your effort is not in revenue or your ability to put in cost, your effort is in sweat equity. So you have to put in manual hours and your ROI is going to be based on your time. So if your time's not worth a lot right now, then I highly recommend you guys taking the services route. The highest ROI route for me though is the digital product route, because you obviously don't have inventory, you don't have shipping, chargebacks are a little bit different. And then physical, of course, with everything that has to do with Shanghai, like in your ability to ship from China, complications, shipping is expensive, products are expensive, things are expensive in general. So your ability to make margins, what were tasty margins in e-commerce before, are no longer tasty and no longer appealing to a businessman like me, because it just doesn't make any more sense.
I want you to tell the audience how many text messages I've received in the last 24 hours.
1,488.
1,488. How is it that I can run a business, get 1,400 messages in a day, respond to them, manage my fitness, manage my relationships, take care of my health, manage my team, spend time reading, read a book a week? How is it that I can do all of these things? I'm committed. I'm committed to my goals. I can't cheat myself, bro. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done with the self-sabotage. Like, dude, I'm here to fucking win, not win against the world. I'm trying to beat myself. I beat myself every fucking day. Conquer, conquer, conquer. Because if you can conquer yourself. People tell me, Luke, how much money do you make in a day? I don't calculate money by day. I calculate money by hour.
How much do you make per hour?
How much? My hour is valued at $2,500 to $20,000, depends on the day.
This is Luke Belmar. This guy has taken YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram by storm this year, rubbing shoulders with some pretty notable figures and exposing to the world why so many of them are caught in what he calls the Matrix. Spoiler alert, this video is going to explain why you are probably in the Matrix too. Oh yeah, and he also made literally tens of millions of dollars in crypto. He's what we call rich. I wanted some of the secrets from social media's next big sensation, so I hopped on a plane from sunny Texas to cold, blistery Colorado, and let me tell you, Luke did not disappoint. This one's sure to inspire, so be sure to stick around if you want to level up this year. And without further ado, I present to you Luke Belmar.
I'm Luke Belmar from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I came to the United States a little close to a decade ago, at the age of 16. And I had $200 in a suitcase, had a dream to become an entrepreneur. Fast forward a couple of years, figuring out different business opportunities, got into crypto, got into e-commerce, did extremely well, and now focused on private equity and really just leveling up my personal character, the video game character. So yeah, just enjoying life.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, bro.
My core objective for my only objective for today's video is that anybody who watches this front to back walks away 1% closer to exiting what I lovingly refer to as the Matrix. But I think in order to have that discussion, it's important to set the stage and understand who we're talking to. I want to talk a little bit more about your story. You mentioned coming here with little to your name, and then you skimmed over a lot of different activities.
Yeah, bro. So I worked all the peasant jobs when I got here. So my uncle was a pilot, and when you're pilots, they allow you to sneak in family members if there's open slots and things of this nature. So since my parents couldn't afford a flight, my uncle let me sit on the little flight attendant seat, which, believe it or not, they let you. And I sat there, and I went to America, worked in different odd jobs trying to figure it out. Did pressure washing, basketball courts, cleaning toilets, working in kitchens, cleaning dishes, doing the whole nine. And then from that point forward, I kind of really got into the markets. I got interested in entrepreneurship and self-development. University never really cut it for me, never really made sense. It didn't make sense because the people that I was learning from, that were teaching me, they weren't doers of what they were teaching. I had a professor of international business that had never run an international business, and in fact had never been overseas. So, okay, you may be book smart, but that doesn't mean you understand reality or how life works. You need to understand culture, cultural barriers, understand norms and habits, how people interact, how people move, language, dialects, hand gestures, motions, things that offend people. These things you can't collect in a textbook. You need to learn through experience. So right now I'm really focused on just leveling up. And that's kind of been my journey throughout my entire life. In 2020, after doing really well in e-commerce, I dumped all my money into crypto. I was kind of telling you a little bit about the story. I had buddies that were investing in the market that I deemed to be more intelligent than I was. So the story goes that I'm with one of my buddies and we're at Chipotle. And I no longer eat at Chipotle. This was when I was in my past life. Fast food is not ideal for you, but we can talk about that later. And I get my Chipotle bowl, and then my buddy's like, "Hey, can you cover me?" I'm like, you're a crypto multimillionaire. he's like, yeah, I don't have money. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have money? He's like, oh, all my money's in crypto. Like, the f-? I'm like, okay, sounds good. I went home and put all my money in crypto. Now, it wasn't just like, oh, I went and gambled on my money. It was, I went home, I did my research, and as a process kind of developed, it wasn't like a gamble. Oh, I'm gambling on this dude. It was, I took the data sets and the information of other people that were playing the game, and I utilized it to my advantage. You know, so I invested in a ton of different projects that were at a sub like $25-30 million market cap. Graph, PancakeSwap, which I ended up holding 1% of the circulating supply, which was crazy. That was super fun. I was the cake farmer. And I introduced kind of DeFi to a lot of the online digital space, and then got into NFTs, played around there, and yeah, just leveling up. But right now I'm not really in crypto. The big issue with FTX kind of made me reassess kind of how I wanted to move in this space. And I think that so many of the good people that should be innovators in the space are actually on the sidelines. So I encourage anybody that wants to get into the space, that has good intentions, get into the game, get into the space, build companies. Hey, why can't we have an exchange that actually holds customer funds? You know, is it that hard to build a good product, a quality product? So that's the process that I'm in right now, just building dope with the money that I've made and utilizing the money that I've made and reinvesting that into myself to make the video game character more powerful.
Let's say you wanted to make money in 2022, you only have a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000. There's 3 avenues that you can make money, period. First is physical products, the second one is digital products, and the third one is services, right? So you have your physical products, that's going to be Kenzo, right? His ability to fulfill massive demand to Amazon. You have Iman's agency, right? He's a service. You have your digital products, which could be people's courses in here, whoever has a course in here, I don't know, or an NFT could be considered a digital product as well. I would say the lowest risk, highest return one would be services, right? Your ability to provide a service at a low cost, because what your effort is not in revenue or your ability to put in cost, your effort is in sweat equity. So you have to put in manual hours, and your ROI is going to be based on your time. So if your time's not worth a lot right now, then I highly recommend you guys taking the services route. The highest ROI route for me though is the digital product route, because you obviously don't have inventory, you don't have shipping, chargeback's a little bit different. And then physical, of course, with everything that has to do with Shanghai, like in your ability to ship from China, complications, shipping is expensive, products are expensive, things are expensive in general. So your ability to make margins, what were tasty margins in e-commerce before, are no longer tasty and no longer appealing to a businessman like me, because it just doesn't make any more sense.
Let's do the math, brother. Let's do the math, okay? People out here flexing that they make 10K a day, okay? And I understand to the 99.9%, that's a fuck ton of money. I get it, and so be it, guys. It's a lot of money. You can live off that. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk to the 0.001% that understand what 10K actually is. Still hustler money. Let me explain. I understand. It's a lot of money, perspective. But I'm gonna talk to the guys that have big ambitions and big dreams, and the girls. 10K a day. What is that? 300K a month. What is that? 3 million a year. 10 years, that's 30 million. 40% taxes. What are you left with?
It's not enough.
What are you left with? Okay, let's say you're left with 20. Living expenses, you're left with 15. You just worked 10 years and you have 15 million in the bank. I know that sounds like a lot of money, but it ain't a lot of money because you can spend it really fast. Or I could just work for 10 years and go for 100 million, but I'm gonna cash out at the end of 10. Instead of cashing in at the end of every single day, I'm gonna work my long period of time and I'm gonna cash out the big bag. So what I'm in the process of now is doing that, right? Sure, you can scale 10, 20, 30K days, but if you want to get the big numbers, dude, you need to be playing a completely different game. So people, instead of focusing on the input, which is what they control, they focus on the output. How can I make $1 million? No, motherfucker. How can you today pick up a damn book that teaches you what the history of money is? This thing that you're pursuing, you don't even know what it is. You're just chasing it like every other motherfucker chases it. People chase shit that doesn't attract to them. People chase stuff that runs. I don't chase, I attract. I'm literally just sitting here and money comes to me. How? You don't think it's real? Don't worry, don't think it's real. More money for me. It's okay. Keep doing your thing, dude. Keep doing your thing. The ones that get it, bro. So position yourself. Stop being a hustler. Start being a boss. Starts right here.
I love that. I love that. I do too. I've talked to too many people in Miami that are hustlers.
You can biochemically become happy. There's a chemical in your body known as serotonin. It's known as the happy chemical. Most of the serotonin in your body is produced here in your gut. So when you hear things like people saying, trust your gut, they don't stop to think, what does that mean to trust your gut? Your gut operates as a brain, right? So the serotonin that's formed inside of your gut is produced by having a healthy gut. How do you have a healthy gut?
Diet.
By having a healthy diet.
Nutrition.
So most of the serotonin is produced in the gut that produces happiness by what? Having a healthy diet.
Yeah.
So most of you guys would automatically be a lot healthier and happier had you
Not
instilled
eating
the
McDonald's.
ability of having a good diet equating to what? A good gut. That is on the physical side. On the metaphysical side is understanding the beauty and the privilege of the struggle of life. Understanding that you're not here to be happy. You're here to live life. You're here to experience suffering. You're here to experience tribulation.
Yeah.
You're here to hurt. You're here to experience heartbreak, pain, joy, pleasure. Every single avenue, every single emotion. Why would you limit yourself from experiencing that? Why? Because you're scared? You're afraid? You don't know how it's going to work out? It doesn't feel good? Perfectly fine. But I've come to understand, I've come to realize that the beauty of life isn't in pursuing happiness. It's in pursuing experiences. And it's understanding that it's multidisciplinary, it's multilateral, it's not just one emotion. So I'm not in the business of pursuing happiness. I'm in the business of pursuing life. And life comes in different forms at different seasons.
Just got a message from Tristan, who dropped the location of his tailor, who's super secretive about it because he's one of the best tailors in the world. He doesn't want to be giving away his edge. We're gonna cut it right here and you'll see us inside. What are you trying today, Tristan?
A bunch of things need fitting. A lot of items that I had got delayed. My fault because I got them all measured. I went through the first fitting. They were in production. Then I had the surgery and I dropped the weight around the midsection. So I'll be trying on a lot of stuff today. This is probably the final fitting on a lot of things inside it. And then after that, there should be a good few items that they're just going to go away for the hand finishing and buttons after this.
The black, we've got the brown, proper rich brown. So both of them are the upholstery fabrics, vintage, antique.
Where we get suited now is extremely secretive. We have to, of course, respect the privacy and the vintage legacy of the establishment where we were in, so we were not able to film. But we have a few fitting appointments scheduled for the $10,000 suits. And I was talking to Tristan, he said I need to get multiple, you know? You have to get your black one, but then you have to get other ones. So we'll probably do 3 or 4.
Give me like 2 ways that somebody, like just actionable things that they can do right now after watching this podcast. How can they focus on their health, get their wealth in check?
Let's talk about health right now. Everybody needs to stop drinking tap water. Tap water is poisonous. Tap water is poisonous. Purified water, poisonous. It's literally just glorified tap water that they roll up Dasani and all this garbage ass water. Don't drink it. Because water is extremely important. Your entire body, most of your body, is composed of water. Why would you not be giving yourself the best source of water to nurture yourself, right? What type of water do we drink? Aquapana is phenomenal. So spring water, bottled if you can, ideally in glass. And then if not, you can utilize a reverse osmosis machine and a carbon filtration system to clean out your tap water and your showering water as well, which is extremely important. It's a little bit more challenging.
You still absorb it when you shower.
Still absorb it because you're absorbing it through your skin, which is the biggest organ in your body. Most people don't know that. The second thing for health is what you consume, right? Everything that you input is energy. Your relationship with food should not be a relationship based off of emotion. Your relationship with food should be a relationship based off of reason. And reason of what? The reason for eating, right? The reason you eat is to take care of yourself, to energize yourself, to rejuvenate yourself, to keep the operating system working at max capacity. Making sure that the food that you consume is designed to not sabotage your day. I'll give you an example. We have life and it's divided, your day's divided into 2 cycles, day and night, right? So in the daytime, right, you have cycle 1. At nighttime, you have cycle 2.
What you need to do is to make sure that you are preparing yourself for the next cycle, that everything that you eat and you do is setting you up to win in the next cycle. What do I mean? If you eat a cheeseburger at 2 a.m. and you eat 8 chicken nuggets and you drink that iced tea and then you go to bed, you are setting yourself up for failure for the next cycle when you wake up, right? So the food that you consume, the habits that you input, right? They're all going to be based off of making sure that you're setting yourself up to win in the next cycle. Does that make sense? Because people are they're like, dude, how can I move up in life? I don't know how to figure it out. But you keep self-sabotaging yourself. Every cycle, you keep fucking it up.
It's like tie your shoes, maybe you can walk.
It's about logic, right? And you don't have to view foods with emotion. I know it's a difficult concept. I know it's not easy, guys. Again, it's not supposed to be easy, but it's the truth, right? And people are easy to be like, oh, well, that's crazy. That's too difficult. Everything is difficult at first. Everything is hard to do in the beginning, but you have to get used to it and you have to develop those habits and those patterns. For wealth, you need to know what money is, right? What is money? Right now, pause the video. What is money? Define it. Most of you guys could not literally define what money is. Oh, well, money is a store of value, or well, money is power. No. These are things that money can give you, or attributes of money. But what is money by definition? Who can create it? How much can they create? What gives them the authority? Right? All these things, you need to learn them. You need to learn them. Why? Because if you're going to pursue money, you better understand that which you're pursuing. Most of you guys don't have money because you don't understand anything about money. And you don't know what money is. Therefore, money eludes you. But if you want to attract money, you must first understand what it is. Second is to understand that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? And I talked about this, right? And it's the idea of Newton's third law. Newton's third law dictates that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This happens in the natural world, but it can also happen and apply itself in our life. People want uphill, we talk about people wanting uphill results with downhill habits. You can't have that. You need to choose what you want to commit to, right? You're going to commit to a shitty life or a great life. But this idea that you can achieve certain results in your life without putting in the specific requirements of work, right, is impossible. There are recipes and ingredient lists to a phenomenal meal, right? And in order for you to achieve that phenomenal meal, which you can, anybody can cook Gordon Ramsay's recipes. They might not be able to do it just as well because it requires experience, time, right? These are all factors that play into it. But you can follow a recipe and you might stumble your way to it, but you might have a similar product, right? You might have a similar outcome, and success leaves clues. And if success leaves clues, you need to figure out what that ingredient list is for your life and actualize it. Every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, which means that if you can control the actions, and if you know that you're going to receive an equal proportion for that which you put in, you're going to be able to measure your outcome, right? So focus on the input, and life will give you in proportion that output. People want the output. People want the money. People want the cars. But nobody wants to put in the fucking work. Nobody wants to put in the hours. Nobody wants to train. Focus on the input and let the universe focus on the output, because by natural law, that will happen.
If you're in the gym, the harder you lift and the harder you try and the more dedicated you are, the better you're going to look.
Why would you cheat? Why would you cheat yourself? Right? Why would you cheat yourself from achieving your fullest potential? And it's not just going to the gym, right? It's developing a healthy lifestyle, because you can go to the gym, go home and stuff yourself with 2 fucking pizzas and drink some Mountain Dew. Doesn't mean you're doing anything, because it's not about getting jacked. It's about living a healthy lifestyle, becoming autonomous, and it's about lifespan longevity. Dude, I don't want to be like fucking Ronnie Coleman, who won Mr. Olympia and had all these great achievements, and now the dude can't walk because his legs don't function, right? That to me is not success. Right? To him, he's a gym freak. Like, the dude's a savage, mad respect. But I don't want to live that way. I want to live till I'm 120 years old. Oh my goodness, what? This guy's insane. What? Well, maybe I know something that you don't, motherfucker. Maybe I think that humans can actually live till they're 120 because I've done my research. I need to live my life in accordance to achieving lifespan longevity, which is the second idea which we talk about.
For wealth.
And then spirituality, you want to talk about that one? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Spirituality, as you become more prominent in this fleeting world, you will have the temptation to become prideful. You will have the temptation to become arrogant and self-conceited, thinking that you've achieved what you've achieved by yourself. There's a reason why the poor people worship God more than the rich people. And it doesn't have to do with because the rich people are better or whatever. It has to do with they're checked, right? At all times, they're checked by the system, or they're checked by life that, damn, like, you're not that great, right? You're not that much. You're worth shit because that's the reality. We're all dust. We're not worth anything. We're not that great. And if you can come with humility, right, into this understanding that you're not hot shit, right? Like humble yourself, then you can have a relationship with God that is based on being teachable. And a lot of people have an interesting relationship with God, and it's a relationship that once again is based off of what they've been told who God is, right? They haven't experienced God. Why? Because they don't care to experience God. If you want to experience God, you have to be intentional. You can find God in nature, you can find God in books, you can find God in your interactions with other people, but you have to be willing to look for the truth. And in order for you to look for the truth, you have to be humble, because humility is what gives you the teachable attitude and the student's attitude in order to develop a spiritual maturity that is abnormal. The second one is you need consistency. Just like in your physical realm, the spiritual realm requires consistency, right? You have to consistently develop the spiritual side of your life in order for it to become strong. And when people are like, oh, Luke, how can I become like you? All these things are like, well, what do you mean, become like you? Oh, well, you talk this way and you believe these things. Well, you have to instill a life of discipline that you start adapting these habits and this way of life. And then inevitably, it'll just become who you are. I think people need to focus on being consistent, and I think people need to focus on having a teachable attitude and being humble. And if you don't humble yourself, the world and God will. You need to start on the small wins. Start focusing on the small wins. Get groomed. Clean your room. Start hanging out with good people. Read a chapter in a book and say, I'm going to read a chapter, and you sit down and you read it. Right? I'm going to read this news article, and you sit down and you read it. I'm going to eat good food and not bad food. You do it, and you start building trust with yourself. Trust, reputation, rapport. And then you realize, wow, I can actually do anything that I want because I trust myself to do it. Okay, you're a brokey. Okay, you could literally go and get a job at Buffalo Wild Wings or at McDonald's, or you could be intelligent. You could go get a job at the high-end restaurant. Well, I don't know anything about wines. Well, go on fucking YouTube and learn about wines. Learn how to have a nice little British accent. Learn how to say all the bullshit foods. Go work at a high-end restaurant. Why not? That's what I did. That's how I got my relationships, my connections. That's how I met people that funded my first business. Waiting their fucking damn tables. I waited tables for Jeff Bezos, dude.
An interview between the CEO of Goldman Sachs, the CEO of Bank Santander, the CEO of BlackRock, the CEO of Bridgewater, and the CEO of Blackstone. They're all probably worth, it's probably $20 trillion in assets under management, and they all did a roundtable called the Boardroom. And they basically talk about what they think is going to work in the next 5 years. Basically where they see the world going. So what are they going to do? They're going to invest their trillions of dollars where they see the world headed. So what do you have to do? Know where they're going to go. Dude, I'm out here fucking studying shit from last year, like speeches, conversations about the future stuff, when people are talking about this is gonna happen in 2040, 2030, Great Reset. Great Reset of what? What are they resetting?
Rights of people.
Nope. You never had rights, G.